All right. Welcome to the Freedom of Joy show. So this is going to be a great day today because you know what? I'm not broadcasting from my room. I'm not. I am actually on remote. I'm on location at Hawaiian Vapor in Vancouver, Washington. And one of the things that we're going to follow up on today is the controversy over vape pens. But that's not just it today. Also, we've got William Samsel coming on later from the Samsel Report. And we're going to be playing an episode of Charlie Danger Private Detective in the second hour, which is a series that, like the old school 1940s, radio broadcast that William Samsel has written based on some books that he's written. And I do the most notable voice of the femme fatale character on the show. I play Jane Connery. And so it's going to be really fun today to listen to it. Also, we're going to have the Freedom Report with Dino Dad 32. He will be here later in just a moment. Want to let everybody say hi to everybody out in the chat room. Happy Easter 420. I love that. And, yay, Jesus and pot. But I do, before we start, I want to let our listeners know that we are listener supported, and we do really thank you for your donations that you give us that keeps our network going. We're all volunteers here. We're not greedy corporate people. We're actually creating these shows from our hearts. And so please do give us a donation. And again, I always say I thank you already because I'm positive, and I know you probably already donated. So, but yeah, today's a great show. Again, I am broadcasting from Hawaiian Vapor, and you can check them out at hawaiianvapor.org. We'll be here in a moment on that. But I do want to say this is the Happy Easter 420 show. Hitler's birthday and Jesus all in the same day. Who knew that was even possible in any way, shape, or form? And here's the thing about I think Jesus will be resurrected on this Sunday, and he will be smoking a big fatty, and God will say, "And it was good." It was good. I'm gonna tell you, I'm going to say, the cannabis oil, the healing herb of all the nations, yay. So we get to, and let's give a shout out to the bunny and the egg and Ishtar. Is it Ishtar? I thought it was a bad movie starring Warren Beatty and Dustin Hoffman, but apparently it has to do with the pagan holiday, which we're so confused about. We have Christ, we have Hitler, and we have bunnies and eggs. And I'm gonna do an egg hunt. I'm gonna get stoned, and I'm gonna have some hash oil, and I'm gonna be hunting for colored eggs. And let me tell you something, I will see God when I find one. Oh, and there's the camera right there. I'm like where am I talking to? I'm looking at the microwave. I want to say something. I've been following the Bundy Ranch situation with Clive Bundy. And I'm sending my love out there. I wish I was there, live streaming. It looks like we're going to have a guest here at the top of the month of somebody who's been out on Bundy Ranch, but I don't know if I'm pretty sure most of our listeners know what that's all about right now. And what's impressive to me is that I think it was Clive Bundy, when he was tasered, he just ripped it out of his chest and threw the taser at the police. It was like Godzilla, And I would wish I had a picture of the police face when that happened. I mean, could you imagine witnessing somebody just ripping a taser out and go, "Take that back, government!" The dogs must have went. I gotta say, now that's a real cowboy. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. All right. Sorry, I had to throw that out there. I love that song. I know it's cheesy. It's almost like Billy Ray Cyrus, though.
It's actually a great song.
It is. It's a great song. I wish I could play it right now, but we can't because we have copyrights on the show.
Those two are one of the most phenomenal musicians.
Let's play it later on today.
Okay. We'll do that.
All right. That's Stephen Barry. He is. I'm with Stephen Barry and Vanessa Scouten, and you are like the youngest. They're like the youngest entrepreneurs here. With Hawaiian Vapor. And we're going to get to all of us here in a moment. We are also live streaming on my Freedom of Joyce live stream, Ustream. So if you're checking in there, you can also go to at Freedom of Joyce Ustream. So right now, I'd like to introduce to the show Dino Dad 32 with our favorite gun advocate, Dino Dad 32 with the Freedom Report.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Madam Joyce. We're humbled in your presence. How you doing?
Well, you should be.
You've been talking about the current events, and people are still chatting on the Internet about what happened at the Bundy Ranch last week. Mm-hmm. Many people are saying it may be the first step to something big in America. Well, we will see about that. Also in the news, former mayor of New York and left-wing wacko Michael Bloomberg is still out there on a rampage to cleanse our nation of our guns. His campaign called Mayors for Gun Control epically failed, so now he merged it into his new movement that he created this Tuesday called Every Town for Gun Safety. I love these nice little names they come up with. Former Mayor Bloomberg is going city to city trying to get other politicians to join him in his Bloomberg anti-gun push, which will fail again, hopefully. You have to ask yourself, what's really behind his agenda? Why is he putting all this effort into these extreme campaigns? What is he trying to accomplish? People got to think about that. I always say, and I found this true in life, the man who sings the loudest at church has the most to hide. There is some kind of hidden agenda here. You remember back in 2013, right after Sandy Hook, when they tried to pass new nationwide gun legislation with Senator Dianne Feinstein's new assault weapons ban, which was so poorly written, it had to fail. It was like they wanted it to fail. It was so dreadful. I don't know if most people realize if Feinstein's assault weapons ban passed by some miracle, it would have illegalized most guns in this country, and it would have caused mass chaos and panic throughout the nation. Luckily, we came to our senses in the end and defeated that appalling bill and the others they tried to pass. I read a great quote the other day. It said, the day is fast approaching when fence sitting will no longer be possible. You will stand with resistance or take a knee and willingly accept the yoke of tyranny and oppression. People are drawing a line in the sand these days, and things may have to change in this country soon. Things will go from bad to worse. It will all come to a head when things get dire. Like I said last week, the people, the sheep, will hold on to a system they are used to, no matter how corrupt or intolerable it may get. Charles de Gaulle said, nothing strengthens authority as much as silence. We have to speak out against the obvious corruption that's happening right in front of our noses each day. If we don't monitor our own government, then who will? It's our duty as citizens of this great nation to monitor and regulate our own government. For if we don't, who will? And we will never get ahead in this country if we keep letting the lobbyists control our government. I promise you, the lobbyists are not working for our best interests and quickly destroying our once great nation. Do you realize the balance of power between us and the elite in our government is exactly opposite of where it should be? I shared a meme with Terry a few weeks ago. I sent it to her again last night. memes may be becoming the new social sharing news broadcast. My meme read, when they protest in Europe, the government changes. When we protest in America, the government laughs. You know, I hit you with a lot of nice quotes today, but what does all this mean? We can read dozens of great memes on the internet and feel like we're making a difference. But if we just stay on our couch and do nothing, then all will be lost. We have to fight, not just get angry about what's going on today, but really do something about it and make some type of difference in our lifetime. You know, in 1776, only 3% of our fledgling nation's people participated in the Revolutionary War. And by the way, we won that one. If we had that same 3% today, angry, working hard together and putting their feet on the street, if we really wanted to make a difference, things could change. If we fight for a cause, any cause you believe in, for us to make any changes in our future for our kids, we have to get out there. Don't you think, Terry? We have to make big changes for truly a better future. As you know, we lose our freedoms each day, little by little, one by one. One day, all of a sudden, without us realizing it, we'll wake up and be completely under government control. And that's it for the Freedom Report today on April 18th, 2014. Please find Dino at dinodad32.com or on YouTube at dinodad32. Please check out and comment on our amazing videos out there. Now, back to you, Terry.
Oh, hey, thank you, Dino. That was a great Freedom Report, and I absolutely love it. And I do agree with you. If we don't start taking action and really waking up and caring about what's going on, then we're going to, our freedom is going to be taken away. And what's even going to be worse is the generations beyond us is what I'm concerned about.
My kids, my two boys, that's what I'm concerned about. The opportunities for them are going to be much smaller than what we had when we were kids growing up.
Yeah.
Don't you believe that?
Well, I do believe that. And, and a lot of times, like, as you start to wake up to what's happening, it just looks horrendous sometimes. I say to myself, how did it get this bad? What is going on? And sometimes I reminisce for my past. You know, what it was like when I was a kid, the things that I was experiencing as a child, even as a young, well, I'm still young, but when I was a younger adult, when we knew each other, Dino. I mean, yes. Dino and I go way back. We met as extras on the set of, I think it was a movie about the Menendez brothers. Made for TV movie about the Menendez brothers.
Yeah, maybe we worked before then a few times. But, you know, when's the last time you heard the expression, land of the free, home of the brave? Remember when we were kids we heard that? No one says that anymore. We're not the land of the free anymore. Have you realized that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you know what? If I tell my father that, my dad goes, no, America's the most free country ever. My parents still believe that we have rights and freedoms. My mom's a little skeptical now, but I still know people that feel like, hey, we're America, and they're very boastful, they're very prideful about it, and those are the people that eat hot dogs and go to like football games and drink a bunch of beer and stuff, and paint their faces in strange colors, and eat barbecue, eat meat, and have like beer. Okay, maybe I'm profiling people.
They're living the past.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think in my head. Is that we're just caught up in this droned mall sort of mentality, which I think when you look at zombie movies and everybody ends up at the mall in a zombie film, I think that's very telling, maybe, and it has a metaphor to it. But Dino, we do have a great show happening here, and I'd like to welcome also our guest who from the Samsel Report, and also the creator of The Adventures of Charlie Danger, Private Detective, William Samsel. William, thank you for coming to the show.
Hey, Terry, how you doing there?
I'm doing really great. And I mentioned cowboys earlier, and and what a real cowboy is. A real cowboy is able to take a taser out of their chest and throw it at the feds.
That's right.
Not only can you be a cattle rancher or wear spurs, but if you pull a taser out of your chest, I always say that's a real cowboy. And Wild Bill Samsel, you're the original cowboy here at Revolution Radio.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm a right kind of cowboy. Me and my horse, Sweetheart. That's right. We do the headline roundup every Saturday evening, and we gather up them old headline critters and put them in the corral where they belong, right?
Right.
So, I guess I'm the cowboy of the network, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at your Skype picture, and you are wearing a cowboy hat. So.
Oh yes.
I would say you're definitely, the cowboy of the network. How long have you been with Revolution Radio?
Oh, a little over a year now. A little bit over a year now that I've been doing it with Revolution Radio. Before that was with RBN, Republic Broadcasting Network. And before that, it was just some little bitty old thing going on here, just locally in St. Louis, So I've been doing this about 2.5 years now. Right?
Oh, great! So you really haven't been doing it that long. I mean, what got you started into becoming a part of Alt Media?
Oh well, I knew about this. I found out. I woke up. Okay.
Yeah.
Back in the mid '90s, right?
Wow, you were earlier.
Yeah, I was living in Sedona, Arizona at the time, and I had been working on a project and wrote a book entitled Today's New Atlantis.
Have you ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found Magical Butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical Butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical Butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP cardholder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor, so come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
I don't know about you, but when I cultivate my clones, I want to give each and every one the best chance to grow into a mature, healthy plant. But after a few cloning cycles, I experienced decreased root density, slimy stems, or even worse, no roots at all. Growers know that reusing cloning collars results in failed clones. And cleaning cloning collars between grow cycles requires extra work and decreases root density. That's why I use PermaClone. Permaclone collars have been engineered to prevent failed clones by providing heat-sterilizable collars, which fit easy clone, turbo clone, or power cloner systems. Permaclone collars can be dry heat sterilized, pressure cooked, or autoclaved to completely kill all bacteria and fungi without harsh chemicals. Start cloning with confidence today and visit us at permaclone.com. Put in the code T for hemp with your order and receive a 10% discount on your purchase.
Headshot Canada. Based in Saskatchewan, Canada, it is shaking up the medical cannabis industry. Headshot Canada helps Canadian citizens in getting a medical marijuana license. They do this by filling out the paperwork. They also help explain your needs to your doctor and also help find the right strain for your condition. For this service, Headshot Canada charges a nominal fee of $100 and your participation in a research and development study to test the effectiveness of different cannabis strains on various medical conditions. Owner and founding farmer Tim Selinsky wants every Canadian to know that you have the universal right to a marijuana license. Unlike Compassion Clubs, Headshot Canada's goal is to get the right strain of cannabis for the ailment at a fair flat rate price for the patient no matter the strain. Headshot Canada offers 57 strains of cannabis grown at family-owned farms in Saskatchewan as opposed to Canadian federal government's one strain of irradiated garbage grown in a lab. Go to headshotcanada.com.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Where, you know the old legend of Atlantis, the civilization that destroyed itself and sank beneath the sea, right?
Yes.
And comparing that with America and what's happening to America being destroyed from within. And so the comparison between the two, you know.
Yeah.
And I met David Icke, and I was exposed to David Icke in the mid-'90s.
Where did you meet David Icke at?
In Phoenix, Arizona. He had come to do a talk at the auditorium in Phoenix, and went down there, and there he was. Right. So anyway, but no, we got to talking about what I was into, and what he was into at that time was the Atlantis connection thing. And so that, you know, that's when I first met him. But I had seen previously, I had seen a film of his entitled, what was it? Oh, I hate when I do this. I went blank. The Truth Shall Set You Free.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what woke me up, was a good old David Icke, you know. And he's you know, we talked a few times because I was promoting my book at the time, and he was promoting his, and I met him a couple of times through my promotions, you know. And so I'm quoted in, I think, a couple of his books, and he's quoted in mine, but it's been a long time since I've talked to him, and since I actually, you know, spoken with him. So.
Wow! So you've been quoted by him. That's.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I forget which.
You go to parties and go, "I've been quoted by David Icke."
Oh yeah. Isn't that cool?
Great.
So, but anyway, that's what started me off, and you know, I've been a musician all my life, and so I started writing songs about the New World Order, and then.
Now, how do people take to that?
How?
When you started doing, what year did you start doing songs about the New World Order?
Mm-hmm. Oh, nobody would play them. Nobody would play them because, you know, it was just too political. You know, it was too political. You know, you should write something. Why can't you write a love song? Write a love song, you know, or something, you know.
Right.
But, you know, I couldn't get people to listen to it, you know. And this is what we're talking about back in what? The turn of the century, you know. The turn of the millennium, right?
Right.
So,
well, I mean, and people probably, I mean, I would imagine that, I can remember at the turn of the millennium, and we were listening to Prince going, you know, we're going to party like it's 1999. You know, you had a whole different mind. I mean, I know I had a whole different mindset then. If you would have come up to me and said, oh, did you know that there were like possibly reptilian hybrids that have been, you know,
right.
the elite, and I would go, what? You know, wait, what have you been smoking?
Yeah, what are you, crazy? You gotta be kidding me.
Right.
You know.
But, you know, I'm kind of one of those open-minded people, so I maybe even back then I would go, that's interesting.
Oh no, they label you're a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
So that's the phrase-all catch-all word. Those are the magic words, you know. Conspiracy theorist. And that just negates it right there. You know, that's it. Right? No matter what you're talking about, all I got to do is whip out the conspiracy theorist, and you're shot down. You know, that's it.
But you're a conspiracy theorist that's with an imagination. Like you've created a whole series and radio show, and I apparently I'm a conspiracy theorist too. You know, I'm a pothead and a conspiracy theorist, which is even
man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter what you stand for. I mean, what gets me is about how anybody labels you with anything. You know, I mean, you could just be walking down the street and somebody shouts out hippie, or you know,
right.
You know, I could have spikes in my hair, punk rock. You know, I can dress up any way I want to, or so can anybody else, and all of a sudden you get some sort of label. You know, if you seem too feminine, you know, you're gay. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm kind of just sick of labels, but you know, again, that's the other media's agenda. Is everything has to be defined and put in a button. And if you have a label of something, then automatically it denies all truth or your validity as a human being.
Right, exactly. You know?
It's unbelievable.
I know.
Yeah.
So deal with it, right?
Right. Well, you know what? I guess what's the best thing to get to is to get to a place in your life where you go, I really don't care what you think about me.
Yeah.
You know, or what I'm saying. If you take a stance on something, or you propose ideas that are out of the box according to what apparently that horrible norm that everybody's told that they have to conform to and be in line with, then you're going to get criticized on some level. Who cares anymore? I'm tired. I don't want to live by that. All I know is that for myself, I create from as much truth as I understand at the moment. And then I'm going to have a good time. That's it. I mean, you know, even if people, well, in 6 months we could be in FEMA camps. You know what? I really don't want to subscribe to that philosophy either, because that's anytime you say that. I mean, yeah, sure, there might be an agenda for that. You know, there might be population control and all these things happening. But if I say that it's going to happen tomorrow, then maybe it's going to happen tomorrow. Because I said it was going to happen tomorrow, because that's how powerful our minds are. But, you know, yeah.
It's all relevant.
It's all relevant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But regardless of that happening, I'm still going to hold on to a piece of, like, bliss and joy regardless of what doomsday scenario that I'm told is what it being a possibility. Because I feel that if we don't do that, then they win. Because they feed off of our of fear and those kind of energies. And if we raise ourselves up to love and character and strength and rebellion, because I do feel that rebellion is positive when your basic human sovereign rights are being taken away from us.
Violated, exactly.
Yeah. You can't just lie down and go, oh, go ahead and run me over because you're the authority.
Right.
Like that rancher out there who took the taser out of his chest.
Exactly.
You're fucking my cows or my land. And that's what we're talking about. People having land that they've had in their family for years and then have some government, our government, come in, the federal government come in and say, oh, well, what happened 200 years ago is null and void. And because we're here, we're going to tell you what to do. And we're going to do this, we're going to take it from you. Right. And this is not right.
Right. This is the same thing that they did to the Native American people 200 years ago.
Yes, it is.
And only then now they're doing it to everybody.
They are.
Exactly.
Yeah. They are. And the scary thing is that, I turn on Revolution Radio and I hear about Bundy Ranch on almost every show. Or the ones that I've been listening to. I'm not listening to all the shows yet, but I've been listening to some of other people's shows, of course. And it's and I go online, YouTube, the forums on Facebook, the people that I'm associated with. This is an important thing to us. But then I talk to somebody outside of this, in some places, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. Not a clue. And again, I'm like, oh, Terry, you stop your protesting. You're a conspiracy theorist. Here I'm broadcasting remote from Hawaiian Vapor. Actually, I'm going to be at Hawaiian Vapor all day today. We're also doing a open mic night tonight, and I'm going to launch that off. And this little spot's going to be my little home place here in Vancouver to produce shows and to do some stuff. I'm actually starting to work on the Freedom of Joyce one-woman show, and actually Vanessa just gave me a vape pen from here, and again, we're going to be talking about the vaping controversy that's coming out. Stephen has a few things to say, and I kind of want to figure out why this is they're wanting to ban vaping pens. Maybe it has something to do with marijuana. I do not know, but we will find out later on. Again, one more freedom to be taken away from us. Vanessa, what kind do we have here?
Oh, no, orange cream, and it's zero nicotine, so all you're inhaling is just the flavor vapor.
Okay, yeah, so I'm not having any nicotine in mine, and this is orange cream, and I just love it. I'm going to take a little puff. Dino, say something. Would you like to say something while I puff?
Enjoy your puffing there. I hope you're in. I don't really understand what's going on there. You got to explain it to the people.
What part do you not understand?
Well, it's the vapors, and you're enjoying the vapors, and
there's a lot of things now called a vape pen. And it's a way that, as a matter of fact, we have Stephen Berry right here. He can actually let you know what vaping is all about. Stephen Berry, who's the owner and also Vanessa of Hawaiian Vapor. This is a family-owned business.
Yeah,
so.
My mom started it up, actually. My mom and my dad, and they got me and Vanessa to come down here and run it. So what was the question about vaping? I kind of just walked in.
He says Dino says he doesn't understand what it's all about.
Okay.
Not all of us can see what's really going on and understand vaping. Some of us are here in Oklahoma, never seen them vapors unless they came out of the ground. So why don't you explain vapors to the nation for us?
Yeah, and I'm actually glad I have a chance because there's a lot of misconceptions about vaping right now. A lot of the studies that are being done on them are being done on the ones that most vapor people actually wouldn't recommend. The ones that we don't even agree with. The ones that we have, basically what it is it's a 4-ingredient juice that gets evaporated by a heated coil made out of titanium, so there's no off-gassing. And the way they figured this out is they realized that for years we've been administering things to people's lungs like albuterol for people who have asthma. What if we could take nicotine to its lowest form to where it's no longer cancer-causing or disease-forming, and we found a way to give all these people who were addicted to cigarettes the nicotine without any of the harmful chemicals or side effects. So what they did is they took propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin. These are the same two ingredients that are found inside of asthma inhalers. And they added nicotine instead of albuterol and that kind of stuff, so no medicine. And then they added artificial flavorings, which are made up of natural extracts. And in doing so, we can make it taste like any cigarette, or even strawberries or blueberries, or it looks like Terry Joyce is vaping on Ono Orange Cream. And basically this allows people to get the nicotine and get off of cigarettes and the 4,000 toxins, chemicals, carcinogenics, and tar. And there's no side effects of it as long as you're using proper vaporizers. If you go get something in a convenient mart, they're not regulated yet. And the problem is, and this is actually a big problem, is that the government is signing bills without letting people know about them, or they're putting them into effect. Like we found out about the last hearing a day before it was going to happen, and we literally all had to drive clear down to Salem that day to go fight for this to stay legal. And what they're doing is they're saying, okay, we're going to say that no one under the age of 18 should be able to buy an e-cigarette, which every guy who vapes will agree with. I absolutely agree with it, 125%. But on the back of that bill, they want to attach things like you can no longer vape indoors. You can no longer, we're going to tax it like tobacco. And they want to tax us 98% on this when it has nothing to do with tobacco, just for the money. And we're going to do this today at 2 o'clock unless you can get a bunch of people here to change it. And we as a vape community have to stay strong because we're really giving people their freedom back. And it's so cool that we're on Freedom of Joyce right now because you can talk about being free. And nowadays everyone's trying to truly take that freedom away from you by just not letting you even have a chance, by making a bill hearing in a 15-hour window period, because they know that the chances of you getting 400 people to rally against that in that time period is impossible. Therefore, they control you because you didn't even have time to defend ourselves. And if we're not into it and we're not staying in tune to what the government's trying to do, then they're going to do this with more than just vaporizers. They're going to do this more than just anything else. They're going to do it with our livelihood as well too. But with vaporizers, all it is a liquid that's being evaporated. There's no water. It's just an oil base. So we're not getting pneumonia. We're not getting nothing like that. It's strictly an oil-based thing that gets evaporated through a heated coil that tastes like whatever the person wants. And it just so happens that you can choose how much nicotine you have in it, so you can step yourself down off of nicotine if you choose. Or, you know what? If you like the way that nicotine gets you high, then you can still choose in this land to be able to vape it without any of the harmful side effects that tobacco companies have added into it to make them even more addicting and more harmful than they ever needed to be. And if you choose never to have nicotine again and you still want to vape, you can do that as well too. It's truly a phenomenal system that gives back freedom to all the people who can no longer smoke indoors, who can no longer do any of that, which because it hurts someone else. With this, there's no secondhand vape. All the nicotine is absorbed into their lungs. It's not like you're going to get nicotine passed off to someone else. There's no odors. There's no smells. There's nothing that clings to your clothes. It's not going to change the color of your home. You can vape indoors again. It's truly an amazing product, and we're very happy to be able to bring it to the West Coast, and hopefully we can get it out there to Oklahoma for people like you, Dino.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp hempandgrow.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188, and the site is hemp.org.
I don't know about you, but when I cultivate my clones, I want to give each and every one the best chance to grow into a mature, healthy plant. But after a few cloning cycles, I experienced decreased root density, slimy stems, or even worse, no roots at all. Growers know that reusing cloning collars results in failed clones. And cleaning cloning collars between grow cycles requires extra work and decreases root density. That's why I use PermaClone. PermaClone collars have been engineered to prevent failed clones by providing heat-sterilizable collars which fit Easy Clone, Turbo Clone, or Power Cloner systems. PermaClone collars can be dry heat sterilized, pressure cooked, or autoclaved to completely kill all bacteria and fungi without harsh chemicals. Start cloning with confidence today and visit us at permaclone.com. Put in the code T for hemp with your order and receive a 10% discount on your purchase.
Indegro is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indegro lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indegro lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indegro lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indegro lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indegro not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indegro products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indegro lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indegro really is your sunlight in a box.
Have you ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found Magical Butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical Butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical Butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
Well, thank you. You know, that was very educational. You know, I like to be educated about new things. And Terry sounds like she's enjoying it. Now, most of us honestly don't know about vape, and you explained it very well. I'm, quite interested in it. And I hope, it does get, across the nation because, most people don't know about it. And it's a good alternative to cigarettes. You believe there's a lot of addictive chemicals in cigarettes, don't you?
There's over 4,000 toxins, chemicals, and carcinogenics, including arson, rat poisoning, and at one point in time, even asbestos.
And I also believe there's addictive chemicals that they put in the food, like at McDonald's, those chicken nuggets. Absolutely. I think you physically get addicted to those things. And that's going to come out in the future, that they addict a new generation to that food.
Do you know what I found out that's very interesting, Dino? And you might find this kind of ironic. Did you know that most weight loss supplements have nicotine in them?
No, I didn't know that.
It's not only to keep them addicted to the weight loss supplement, but it's also because nicotine, which is very similar to caffeine, is addictive, but it speeds up your heart rate, which allows you to burn calories. It's actually a weight loss.
Yeah, a lot of those weight loss programs do speed up your heart, and it could be dangerous for you.
Absolutely.
Some of them were actually really speed, back in the day.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. I'm not into that. actually.
No.
Then get a vape pen and
Get a vape pen.
Get a vape pen.
And there's attachments for other things too.
There is, and let's talk about that. And I want to know, maybe this is why. Why do you think? First of all, let's talk about the attachments to vape pens and what you can do with a vape pen besides just smoking juice that has no nicotine or having nicotine in it.
Yeah.
It also is very popular in the cannabis community.
Yes.
Because you can vape your oil, you can vape your your Rick Simpson oil. I mean, whatever it is that you want to, your. Can you put wax in it?
Yeah, no, there's straight up, it's actually, if anyone's ever used a dome setup and used a nail before, there's an actual electronic nail that you can put your wax directly on, and you could actually dab and vape at the same exact time. You can do this to where it's very concealed. It looks just like an e-cigarette. I mean, there's no smell. It's truly a phenomenal thing, and you can customize it with glass tanks and things like that as well. But yeah, you can definitely put straight wax on it, and not only that, they've actually started making in a lot of these dispensaries and stuff here in the West Coast an actual e-juice liquid that has CBDs in them. So now they're actually making a juice that can be used in a regular pen. Like not just the wax adapter, in a regular actual e-cig that has CBDs in it. They're actually making CBD-infused juices now. So the vaping is going to take off.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when they're going to start using propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin, because it's just a form to administer something to your lungs. Why not administer straight CBDs or THC?
And if people don't know like exactly what CBDs are, it is a certain part of the cannabis plant that has a lot of healing properties to it, and you can take the THC out of it or reduce it to where you don't really get too much of what you consider a high. But the CBDs are helping children with seizures and all kinds of diseases that they're finding, and so and when you're able to vape. It's a lot healthier than lighting anything with any type of butane. Even smoking a joint or taking your medicine in a different way. And I do say medicine. People, again, just like saying conspiracy theory, people go, oh yeah, sure, it's really medicine. No, it is really medicine for a lot of people. And if you're able to take it in an oil form and vape it, it's far more healthier for your lungs. As a matter of fact, I don't think it really causes any damage. I'm not a scientist on that, but there have been studies where marijuana smoking has been known to reduce the size of tumors in your lungs. So we're talking about something that is very healthy for you in many ways. And again, a lot of disinformation around the cannabis plant has been going around. Comparing it to being as pollutant to your lungs as tobacco smoke is. So, but still, when you go to a doctor and the doctor, says, well, yeah, I'm going to give you a medical marijuana recommendation, they don't want to tell you to smoke it. My doctor said, hey, vape it. Vape is the best way to do it. Now, my issue with vaping sometimes is that, I used to be a cigarette smoker. So I like that little burn feeling. But with the vape pen, this vape pen does give me that satisfaction. Sometimes when you vape out of those big balloon things, that you fill up and the volcanoes. Gosh, I should know what that's called. It's like smoking. It's like inhaling air, and I don't. And it's this big bulk, balloon thing that you gotta heat up, and you can't take it around. You can't. It's not like having a vape pen in your purse, and be able to vape. So, Stephen, my question is to you: why do you think the underlying reason why they're wanting to make vape pens illegal? What is that all about?
Well, Terry, I'm one of those conspiracy theorists.
Okay, all right, yeah. Come out of the closet, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. People are like, uh-oh, now they're going to start talking about Tupac. I'm not, I promise. But I personally believe that a lot of, tobacco companies make so much money. All right?
Yes.
And money controls things.
Yeah.
These are pure facts. And conspiracy theorists or not, money controls things. They have a lot of money. They have a lot to say. And And plus, honestly, the government finds this a very easy thing to tax. If they tax it like tobacco, they can literally they're trying to put a 98% tax on it, which is absolutely ridiculous, which means that right now, a bottle of e-juice, which is equivalent to a full carton of cigarettes, a full carton, not a pack, a full carton, as it sits right now, is only $12. A carton, 10 packs of cigarettes. This is crazy. If they were to tax it by 98%, they would literally make the healthier substance more expensive than the more dangerous substance. And, I mean, it's for money. It's for greed. It's for people wanting to continue making money off of people and not caring about their health. It's the same reason why doctors sell certain prescriptions, because they get paid more to give you that prescription, not because that's the prescription that is healthier for you. And I've seen that my entire life. My father is a quadriplegic. And I personally think that's the reason why they're going on these e-cigs. So they found something that the people, once they are educated about it, they realize, wow, this is so much healthier and so much better. Why wouldn't we do this? And the second that the people start to get strong on it and they start to want to switch, the government is going to have to try and find a way to make more money off of it than they initially allowed, because they didn't think it was going to be a big hit. They thought that they had us addicted on that. They thought that they had us where we couldn't talk more to each other. They didn't think that internet was going to be able to take over the facts. They didn't think we were going to be able to shove statistics down their throats about how much healthier that it was. And now that we can, they're literally doing everything they possibly can to be able to stop it. Because whenever people start moving in a movement with power, the government gets scared. And you can choose any civil rights movement, any movement period you want to choose. The second we get together as people and we say that we want this, the government's going to fight back. We are free only to fit inside of their mold, and the mold that they allow us to choose. And if you want to fit inside that mold and be one of those guys that goes to a football game and does the tailgating and all that stuff, then fantastic. They'll allow you to, because they make money off of you, because that's what they want you to do. You are allowed to be free if you fit inside of the mold. Other than that, we are not free. We are nothing but people being led around on a leash. Is a dog free who's allowed to go 17 foot on a leash, or is he still on that leash for 17 feet? Are you saying he's free up to 17 feet, or is he actually free? And I think that's honestly what it comes down to. And conspiracy theorists or not, I personally feel like the government is trying every way in their power to continue to make these classes and continue to force people into a certain way of living, because they know, just like every single one of us knows, that if we were in certain situations, we would make decisions that wouldn't necessarily be a decision that we would agree upon ourselves right now in the situation that we're in. When you get pushed up against the back of a wall and there's nothing else that you can do, people will do anything for life. And that's where a lot of these things come down, in the ghetto and everything else. And to be able to tax something 98% that's healthier for you than what you're shoving down people's throats and killing people's family members on a day-to-day basis with is absolutely inhumane and unusual punishment. But why use things that are taken out of documents from our government? Let's just say it's not cool. And that's why I think they're attacking the vapor community.
Oh, well, thank you. That's really wonderful. And again, Stephen, I want to thank you for letting us broadcast here. Where can our listeners find you at online?
Well, we're at HawaiianVapor.org. We're also on Facebook at Hawaiian Vapors with an S. You can email us at hawaiianvapors@gmail.com. You can call us at 360-882-8022. We're always willing to talk to you guys. Or you can come on in. We're at 11011 Northeast Burton Road in Vancouver, Washington. And we're always doing things. We want to help out the community. I think if we show that the vapor community is helping out the community, then maybe we can change people's opinions on what they see when a white cloud comes out of our mouths.
Well, thank you. And Stephen, do you have your guitar today?
Yeah, I have a guitar.
Like maybe later on in the second hour, would you play an Easter? Stephen is one of the best freestylers, with songs that I've ever witnessed.
Have you ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found magical butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical Butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical Butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP card holder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor, so come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
I don't know about you, but when I cultivate my clones, I want to give each and every one the best chance to grow into a mature, healthy plant. But after a few cloning cycles, I experienced decreased root density, slimy stems, or even worse, no roots at all. Growers know that reusing cloning collars results in failed clones. And cleaning cloning collars between grow cycles requires extra work and decreases root density. That's why I use PermaClone. PermaClone collars have been engineered to prevent failed clones by providing heat-sterilizable collars which fit easy clone, turbo clone, or power cloner systems. PermaClone collars can be dry heat sterilized, pressure cooked, or autoclaved to completely kill all bacteria and fungi without harsh chemicals. Start cloning with confidence today and visit us at permaclone.com. Put in the code T4Hemp with your order and receive a 10% discount on your purchase.
Headshot Canada. Based in Saskatchewan, Canada, it is shaking up the medical cannabis industry. Headshot Canada helps Canadian citizens in getting a medical marijuana license. They do this by filling out the paperwork. They also help explain your needs to your doctor and also help find the right strain for your condition. For this service, Headshot Canada charges a nominal fee of $100 and your participation in a research and development study to test the effectiveness of different cannabis strains on various medical conditions. Owner and founding farmer Tim Selinsky wants every Canadian to know that you have the universal right to a marijuana license. Unlike Compassion Clubs, Headshot Canada's goal is to get the right strain of cannabis for the ailment at a fair flat rate price for the patient no matter the strain. Headshot Canada offers 57 strains of cannabis grown at family-owned farms in Saskatchewan as opposed to Canadian federal government's one strain of irradiated garbage grown in a lab. Go to headshopcanada.com.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
And so would you maybe riff a 420 Jesus Easter song?
That'd be fun. I absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Call me in.
And with me, we have Dino Dad 32 on the show, and also William Samsel from the Samsel Report. Thank you guys for being here today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was really impressed what Steve had to say. I really enjoy his passion. That's what we need in this country, is passion like that to get things changing. And what he said was very educational. I enjoyed what he had to say. Thank you, Stephen, for that. That was really interesting.
Oh, well, thank you. He actually stepped out for a moment. They've got customers happening right now, so I'm actually in the broadcasting in the back room here. It's really a lot of fun here too as well, and it's a place where anybody who's 18 and up can come here, and there's no alcohol, but they have juices and teas, and you can sit back and vape and watch some movies and play foosball and, all kinds of different things.
I have a question for you, Terry.
Yeah.
Last week we talked all about cannabis oil,
yeah.
And I'm not really sure how you apply cannabis oil. Is it a topical thing? Is it something you smoke? For us us virgins to this stuff, you have to explain it to us, because I was just thinking about, this man was healed and he had some kind of lung disease because of cannabis oil. Do you smoke it? What do you do with the cannabis oil?
There's a variety of things that you can do. You can smoke it. You can eat it. You can put it topically on your body. You can put it on lesions. People have put it on cancer lesions and healed them. Skin cancer. But usually you can vape your cannabis oil. You can smoke your cannabis oil. But generally for really, if you're very, very sick and you do have cancer, it's recommended that you eat it. So it's edible. It has all kinds of different purposes. So. And
our guest last week was cured because of his cannabis oil. What was he doing to cure himself? He had a terrible lung disease.
He was eating it. He was eating it.
He's eating it. And I know how hard it is for him to get it. And it is saving his life. He was such a nice gentleman last week. Again, another good Facebook friend that we talked to now. What was his name? I always forget our guest.
He was Jeff Waters.
Jeff
Waters. And he does live in Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's how he's. I hope he's listening, and I'm razzing on you there, Jeff.
Now, William, I've talked so much, and I haven't even been able to spend. I'm so sorry, William. I'm like, what am I doing here? Thank you for being so patient. We've got a full schedule here. So we're going to play an episode of, right after the break, a full episode of Adventures of Charlie Danger, Private Detective. When did you start writing the Charlie Danger books?
Oh, I've done one a year for the past 4 years. So, yeah, and I'm working on another one. But we're taking them directly from the books, from the series, and I think people liking what they hear,
Well, I really like it. I like doing it, and I love listening to them afterwards because I love all the different little sound effects and stuff like that you put in it.
Oh yeah. Like this, the one that we're going to play is the one where they go to the Bohemian Grove.
Yes, that's one of my favorite ones.
So, yeah, and this is the one where they start using all the disguises and everything, So it ought to be pretty interesting.
And Hillary is there having lesbian sex.
Oh yeah. Hillary and Kissinger is there, and what's his name? Schwarzenegger is there, and.
Don't tell me I'm there. I am not there. I don't want to be I was there with those wimpy guys. Yeah.
He won't admit it. But we saw him there. So.
Do you remember when we worked as extras on True Lies?
With Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
And don't tell people we worked as extras. That's embarrassing now.
I'm not embarrassed about being an extra. I see it as being part of my part. I mean, a lot of people don't even have the opportunity to work on movies like that. Oh, you got to see a celebrity.
Yeah,
I saw him at Denny's on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, we got to see some exciting things.
My goodness. William's getting a phone call. William is popular.
I know.
Get that call. We don't want to interrupt your social life.
Somebody calls up and goes, "Are you a real cowboy?"
You look like a girly man to me.
Oh, my goodness. You never know what to expect.
You never know what to expect, especially when you're doing live radio.
Oh, right.
Right.
What was the other guy in the show besides Schwarzenegger? Who else was on the show?
Wait, was Jamie Lee Curtis, and there was Bill Paxton.
No, on William's show.
I'm sorry.
Kissinger, I think, and Rockefeller is there too, I think.
You know what I just found out this last week, Terry? That Henry Kissinger is one of the 14 people that own the Federal Reserve. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how come I had to ask about, Henry Kissinger.
And the rolling Mountain Valley estate, secluded away from the rest of the world. We made our way through scenic switchbacks in our chauffeured limousine. After dropping off Jane on the side of the road in her ninja outfit and gear, Holmes and I proceeded to the main gate, and we breezed right through the machine gun-toting guards and security personnel. Once inside, we got the royal treatment. The place was more like a castle than anything else. It was extremely posh and luxuriant, and I would imagine unbelievably expensive. From the lobby, we were escorted into our suite. We didn't waste any time. There was just too much at stake. Within 20 minutes, Holmes and I were in one of several lounges or smoking rooms where the elite gathered before going to dinner. Holmes found that he was standing at the bar next to none other than Henry Kissinger.
"You are new to the Grove?"
Kissinger asked. "I am a guest of Professor Mariachi, though I have yet to see him this day."
"I just left him downstairs in the steam room with all of the teenage male prostitutes."
"Oh, really?" replied Holmes. "Well, I wouldn't want to intrude upon his little tryst."
"Will you be attending the ritual sacrifice to the owl god Molech and the cremation of Ker ceremonial this evening?"
"You mean an actual satanic ritual in which world leaders, industry heads, government officials, world bankers, and the illuminated elite are all willing participants?"
"Most certainly. And the fun part is that you can be completely naked underneath their robes."
It was at that point that David Rockefeller entered the room and strolled up to the bar. "What do you think, Henry? A major pandemic?"
"The population again, my friend."
"Biologic or nuclear?" the wiry little old man snapped. "It is imperative that we rid the world of the useless eaters." Rockefeller looked at Holmes. "Who the hell are you?" "My name is Holmes. I am the guest of Professor Mariachi." Rockefeller looked Holmes over from head to toe. "The North American Union is a great idea. Don't you think it's a wonderful idea?" "Brilliant, I'm sure," replied Holmes. "But how do you intend to sell it to the American people?" "What the hell do they know?" said Rockefeller with a mad grin. "F*** them, I say. F*** them." With that, Rockefeller laughed insanely as he and his friend Kissinger strolled arm in arm away from the room. Yours truly wasn't faring any better than Holmes. I had found myself sitting in a booth with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Hillary Clinton.
"I am so overworked from ruining the economy of California,"
Schwarzenegger was saying. "Why destroy the economy of California?"
"This is America. It's amazing what you can achieve with the backing of the right people. People in very high places."
"Motivation?"
"I am motivated by millions and millions of dollars and power over millions and millions of people. It's hard work, you know. It's nice to get away from it all and have some fun."
"Yes, while my Billy Boy is running around the grounds in his birthday suit with all of the teenage sex slaves, I can relax and enjoy the cross-gender thing. I can be openly lesbian."
At that point, the Rothschilds arrived, and both of my booth mates scrambled from the booth to run over and fawn over them like they were gods. A moment later, Holmes slipped into the booth beside me.
These people are not only perverted, they're also quite insane.
Have you located Mariachi?
Yes, but trust me, we don't want to interrupt him at the moment. Suffice it to say, he's definitely here.
I sat back in the plush booth and lit up a smoke.
I wonder how Jane's making out.
Holmes struck a match and puffed his pipe to life.
Hopefully, she's dug in somewhere and will rendezvous with us in our room after dinner this evening.
Dinner took place in the most decadently opulent dining hall, complete with all the amenities that royalty could ever possibly demand. While many of the world's leaders and elite were seated at a lavish dining table of honor, Holmes and I sat isolated at a small table in the back corner of the room. Armies of servants served up an elegant dinner. Holmes and I ate our meal while listening to speakers like Rockefeller and Rothschild droning on and on about how wonderful the New World Order was going to be.
From what I gather, they intend to systematically disassemble the United States, decimating its economy and bankrupting everyone except themselves. They want global control of everything. They want to micromanage everybody's lives everywhere. This is indeed the most diabolical scheme I have ever encountered.
At that point, Jane Cannery made her presence known from underneath the dining table.
Hey, watch where you guys put your feet.
Jane? What the hell are you doing down there under the table?
I had to get a word to you guys. Right after dinner, you better get yourselves out to the lake for the satanic ritual. Professor Mariachi will be there.
I looked down into those big, beautiful eyes that were looking up at me from under the table.
How did you manage to get underneath the table? Would you been there all along?
Never mind that now.
She's right. I suggest that we make sure we're all fully armed and wired.
We have to get out to the lake for the ritual before someone else tries to stop us.
Don't worry, baby. We'll meet you there in less than an hour.
Since dinner is completed, we shall depart immediately for our room to don our ceremonial robes.
With that, Holmes and I casually made our way back to our room. We were in luck. It was dark outside, and the deep blood-red robes we wore made it easier to blend into the darkness. We made our way by sticking to the shadows, the trees, the woods, and the brush. The ceremonial area by the lake was brightly lit with torches, and there were people dressed in various colored robes dancing around a huge bonfire which burned before a towering statue of the owl god Molech. Holmes and I made our way around to the wooded shadows behind the great idol. Being rigged for recording video and sound, Jane ventured to get as close to the action as she could. We were all in communication through our tiny headset transmitters. Some of the revelers dancing around the bonfire had shed their robes and were frolicking around in the nude. At this point, I would rather not go into a description of what Bill Clinton, Henry Kissinger, and Nancy Pelosi look like naked. Suffice it to say, I'd really like to forget what I saw. It was downright nasty. And then Holmes spotted him. I turned around and looked, and there was Mariachi. He was leading the lightly dressed members of the Mariachi Orchestra. Suddenly, I felt a hand slap me on the back. I hope you boys are having a good time. It was a robed and highly inebriated Edward Kennedy. His breath smelled like an entire brewery. You boys feel free to join in right there with everybody else. I have to find somewhere for me to take a leak. Without another word, Kennedy staggered off into the deeper bushes. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. Holmes and I watched as the world's elite drank heavily, swore profusely, frolicked naked, and fornicated openly.
Begone, dull care. Fire shall have its will of thee. Begone, dull care. And all the winds make merry with thy doubts. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, midsummer sets us free. You shall burn me once again. Not with these flames, which hither ye have brought from regions where I reign. Ye fools and priests, I spit upon your fire. Great owl of Bohemia, we thank thee for thy adjuration.
I tapped on the tiny microphone of my communication device before I spoke. Jane, can you hear me? This is incredible. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I got the grand seat. I'm getting it all down on video, but I can't hear what you're saying very well.
I turned up the volume a little. How's that now? Can you hear me better? Listen. Holmes and I will get what we can from in back of the bird, and then we'll make our way over to the bank. That's Mariachi's current location. I repeat, that's where Mariachi's at. Meet us over there. Sometimes you get so wrapped up in what you're doing that you quit paying attention to what's going on around you, just long enough to get yourself in trouble. I hadn't noticed that the band had stopped playing. The people had stopped dancing, and everybody was looking at me. Apparently, my transmission had been picked up by the PA system and broadcast to the entire crowd. I turned and saw that Holmes was already running away as fast as he could, and so I wasted no time in joining him. Behind me, the satanic ritual had turned into mayhem. I could hear screams and guns going off, and there were several big explosions. I hoped that Jane was faring well back there. I had lost track of Holmes. But in this kind of situation, it's usually every man for himself. Your cover's blown, the bad guys are after you, and you're lost in the woods in the dark. After spending 2 days roaming through the woods, the mountains and valleys, the wind and the rain, I emerged on a side road where I waved down a ride in an Amish buggy. That took me to the nearby Holiday Inn. I thanked the Amish guy and handed him a C-note.
What really amazed me was that I found Jane Cannery there. She was sitting on the curb in front of the place, drinking coffee and smoking a fag. She smiled when she saw me.
What took you so long? I was beginning to think you didn't make it.
I'm happy to see that you did, baby. Any sign of Sherlock Holmes?
He's inside the crapper. He booked us into some rooms. You look like you've been through the ringer.
Later on, as we sat in Holmes's room thinking about what our next move would be, my mind began to wander. Sometimes you take on a case thinking nothing of it, and you wind up in a river of crap. That's how I was feeling as we sat in Holmes's room there at the Holiday Inn. I found myself thinking about walking along beaches, petting a favorite dog or cat, drinking iced tea on your front porch, or dancing with the woman you love. Then lives into crap. Vulgar, bloated, megalomaniacal scumbags that need to have their asses kicked and thrown into prison. Well, they had done it. They had really pissed me off. Right then and there, I decided I'm not going to take it anymore. Just who in the hell did they think they were? When did God die and leave them in charge?
Well, Holmes, where do we go from here?
We must keep that document out of the globalist hands at all costs. And we must also get rid of the traitorous Patriot Act.
And we must do away with the Security and Prosperity Partnership and the plans for a North American Union.
And don't forget, we must also do away with the Federal Reserve.
And if I were you, I would most undoubtedly pull out of the United Nations. Holmes puffed his pipe to life and said through a cloud of tobacco smoke, I would also shut down the Bohemian Grove and the Bilderberg meetings. I would also shut down the CFR and the Trilateral Commission. Then I would arrest everyone involved and try them for acts of treason against the people of the United States.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
I don't know about you, but when I cultivate my clones, I want to give each and every one the best chance to grow into a mature, healthy plant. But after a few cloning cycles, I experienced decreased root density, slimy stems, or even worse, no roots at all. Growers know that reusing cloning collars results in failed clones. And cleaning cloning collars between grow cycles requires extra work and decreases root density. That's why I use PermaClone. PermaClone collars have been engineered to prevent failed clones by providing heat-sterilizable collars which fit easy clone, turbo clone, or power cloner systems. PermaClone collars can be dry heat sterilized, pressure cooked, or autoclaved to completely kill all bacteria and fungi without harsh chemicals. Start cloning with confidence today and visit us at permaclone.com. Put in the code T for hemp with your order and receive a 10% discount on your purchase.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Have you ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found Magical Butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical Butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical Butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
Yes! Pull out of the WTO and throw out NAFTA and stop the flow of illegal aliens across our southern borders. Yay!
A criminal investigation of the Bush administration and reinvestigate the events of 9/11.
Hey, what about Obama? He and his globalist cronies just pulled out the biggest financial heist in the history of mankind.
Everyone, please. We must not get carried away. We must concentrate on the situation at hand. I believe we're upon the pathway that may ultimately lead us to justice served.
Holmes was right. First things first. Still, the more I thought about it, the more complex it became.
This thing is too big. We're in over our heads.
I told you that in the beginning.
Look, we need to lay low. They're wise to us, and they'll be looking for us. Now, we got plenty of dough. I say we rent us a car and start heading back east.
If we were successful at eluding the authorities, it would give us time to come up with some sort of plan. It was Holmes's brilliant mentality that came up with an idea. The feds couldn't track or trace us if we didn't appear to be who they thought us to be. If we could disguise our identities, we could move about freely. It could buy us all the time we need. With Holmes's expert help, we all took on disguises. Holmes became the Elephant Man. Jane became Julia Child. And I became Ziggy Stardust. In these disguises, there was no way Uncle Sam would know who we really were. Who else but Holmes could come up with such a stroke of genius? Later on, as As we drove down the interstate in our rented Winnebago, everyone had calmed down and chilled out. Things had started looking up. That is, until we got to a little town called Salt Flats in Arizona. That's where we pulled into a truck stop for gas and eats. We fueled up the Winnebago, and then we went inside to the restaurant and got a table. The waitress came over to take our order.
What the hell happened to him?
She asked as she looked in shock at the Elephant Man. Don't worry about him. He was born that way, I said as I casually looked at the menu she handed me.
Were you born that way too?
Sure thing, sister. Any more wisecracks? For a second I thought about slugging her, but I just grunted and buried my face in the menu.
And I know you're from somewhere too.
She said to Julia Child as she handed her a menu.
Let me know what poison you all decide on.
She said with a shake of her head as she walked away. I say, doesn't that waitress remind you of somebody? Tell me about it. Half an hour later, the waitress returned with our meals.
I hope you choke on it,
she said as she placed our meals on the table before us.
If you do, don't come crying to me.
Excuse me, said the Elephant Man. I wonder, do you have a relative in New York who is also a waitress by trade?
Yeah. What's it to you?
Simply a matter of deductive reasoning. You are a waitress. Your hair and facial features are similar to hers. You speak with a New York accent. Your demeanor is quite similar, and your name tag reveals your name to be Margie.
Look, if you think you're funny, guess again. Any more lip out of you guys, and I'll have you thrown out of here.
Without another word, she abruptly turned and headed back towards the kitchen. The journey back east, except for a number of slight incidents along the way, was actually pretty uneventful. After all, everybody was in disguise. Well, actually, if you want to get technical about it, our disguises were the cause of several slight incidents that occurred along the way. Holmes tried several different disguises. First, it was Mr. Hyde, of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But that didn't work out very well because at the very next restaurant, they threw us out of the place. The next thing he tried was the Incredible Hulk, but that didn't seem to work out either. He experimented with the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz, and the Fat Man from The Maltese Falcon. He tried Jimmy Cagney, Jimmy Durante, and
We're back with more Freedom of Joyce for the last half hour of the show. I want to give a shout out to those that are in the chat line. And again, I noticed something. There was some stuff in the chat line about Senator Harry Reid saying that the Clive Bundy Ranch people are being labeled as domestic terrorists. Obviously, we saw that one coming from the reptilian hybrid, but whatever. It's just really, I mean, again, I just saw an article about how Harry Reid had made a deal with China for the land to sell it and put a different kind of new energy. So we know what's going on. It's not about like extinct turtles. Isn't that what it was? Isn't that like it's distinct, extinct, distinct. Extinct turtles. All right, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to vape some more. Extinct, whatever. It's the same thing. All right, but we have 5 more minutes of Charlie Danger, Private Detective. So here's the last little bit, and we'll be right back with a song from Stephen Barry at Hawaiian Vapor like we promised, and then we're all going to like shamelessly plug ourselves. So, all right.
Can I plug everyone in my song?
If you want to.
Can I plug? Well, who am I plugging? So I can get ready. Everybody?
Everybody.
Okay,
You know,
Dino Dad 32, I'm plugging you.
William Sampson.
Thank you.
William
Thank you.
Sampson.
And I need plugging.
He needs. I mean, he needs.
Charlie Danger Detective, was it?
Yeah, Charlie. William Sampson with the Sampson
William
Report.
Sampson, the Sampson
Wild
Report.
Bill. Wild Bill Sampson, and Adventures of Charlie Danger, Private Detective.
Well, see, I think that one needs its own song by itself. That's.
Hey, have we noticed what a great voice Harry's doing on the show? She's amazing.
Oh, Perry's phenomenal. She definitely needs to be plugged. We need to plug her like 3 or 4 times. That sounds dirty. That sounds dirty. Stop it, Will.
All right, we have to behave ourselves here. All right, so, but it does sound a little bit dirty. All right, we're gonna more Charlie Danger, Private Detective, and we'll be right back.
Meet Cagney, Jimmy Durante, and Gabby Hayes, too. Then he tried The Invisible Man. That actually worked out pretty well because we didn't have to pay for his dinner at the next 3 truck stops. I still can't figure out how that happened. The problem with the Invisible Man disguise became evident when Holmes was run over by one of the big rigs while crossing the parking lot. The thing that bothered me about being Ziggy Stardust was that several times there were strange men in the men's room that would come on to me. Most of the time, I would get stares and remarks like, "Hey, baby, you're in the wrong bathroom," or, "Hey, Joe, look at what we got here." I talked Holmes into doing up a different disguise for me. I'd had enough of being Ziggy Stardust. Jane wasn't too happy about her disguise either. Strangely enough, nobody seemed to bother Julia Child. I think it was because she was so homely looking that most people avoided her. Aside from all that, things went rather smoothly. I mean, we had eluded the feds, which was the reason we were all in disguise in the first place. So, in that sense, the disguises were a success. I guess. We decided that the best thing we could do was to head for Washington, D.C. to look up the one politician that we thought we could trust. That was Congressman Ron Paul. When we reached D.C., we pulled the Winnebago into a Motel 6 and got us some rooms. We were all supposed to meet at the Denny's next door to the motel for some eats and to plan our strategy. That's when Holmes, who had transformed himself into the guy with the tongue from Kiss, went and got a copy of the Washington Post. He sat there browsing through it as Jane and I looked at the menu.
My God!
He gasped suddenly.
We seem to have made the newspapers.
Let me take a gander at that. Sure enough, right there in black and white, the headline read, "Search for Terrorist Continues." The article read, "Homeland Security continues its search for Charlie Danger, Sherlock Holmes, and Jane Cannery. The gang is suspected of plotting against the federal government. They are dangerous terrorists bent on terrorist activities for the purpose of creating terror in order to terrify decent American citizens terribly. The DHS, the FBI, CIA, ATF, and the
IOU are still searching for Danger, Holmes, and Cannery. It is believed that they are wearing disguises, though authorities are having a hard time keeping up with who is actually disguised as who. Loyal Americans who are still under the illusion that the government has the people's best interests at heart are hereby encouraged to report these terrorists to the government authorities.
Damn it! What in the name of tarnation do we do now, Pa?
Exclaimed Jean, who had taken on the disguise of Marjorie Main as Ma Kettle.
Well, now, I reckon we'll just have to keep on keeping on, Ma.
I said. I had taken on the disguise of Percy Kilbride as Pa Kettle, because if you have Ma, you ought to have Pa too. Anyway, that's what Holmes had suggested.
Well, that's all there is to it.
I said in anger as I crumpled the newspaper.
There's nothing left for us to do but take these dirty rats on and give them everything we've got.
Holmes looked at me and shook his head.
You may be right, Mr. Danger. Things certainly look bleak. But if you give me some time, I think I may be able to formulate a plan of action.
Yes, you've been listening to Charlie Danger, Private Detective.
All right, that was, Charlie Danger and Private Detectives. And actually, we're going to do our plugs right now. Let everybody know what our websites are, and then we're going to go ahead and finish out with a song here today in a moment. So, Dino Dad 32, where can we find you?
Yes, you can find Dino's at DinoDad32.com, or check out his cool YouTube page at Dino.32. I hope you enjoy his videos.
All right, and William Samsel, where can everybody check out the Samsel report and also Charlie Danger Private Detective?
Well, I tell you, the easiest thing to do is just go Google it. Google Bill Samsel, Samsel, and all kinds of stuff will pop up. So, yeah, right. So.
You're also playing on Awake Radio and...
Yeah. I'm on Awake Radio on Sundays from 5 to 7 p.m. And, of course, right here on Revolution Radio every Saturday night from 10 to 12.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is HEMP.org.
I don't know about you, but when I cultivate my clones, I want to give each and every one the best chance to grow into a mature, healthy plant. But after a few cloning cycles, I experienced decreased root density, slimy stems, or even worse, no roots at all. Growers know that reusing cloning collars results in failed clones. And cleaning cloning collars between grow cycles requires extra work and decreases root density. That's why I use PermaClone. PermaClone collars have been engineered to prevent failed clones by providing heat-sterilizable collars which fit easy clone, turbo clone, or power cloner systems. Permaclone collars can be dry heat sterilized, pressure cooked, or autoclaved to completely kill all bacteria and fungi without harsh chemicals. Start cloning with confidence today and visit us at permaclone.com. Put in the code T for hemp with your order and receive a 10% discount on your purchase.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Have you ever had a problem with overcooking your cannabis oil? You probably wanted to rip your hair out when you burned off all the THC, right? I even cried one time when my brownies failed to make a good impression at the party. Well, I stopped crying when I found Magical Butter. Magical Butter is a device with a microprocessor-controlled program sequencer. It was designed by a scientist and a chemist to precisely extract the benefits of various herbs. Magical Butter easily makes botanical butter, oils, tinctures, lotions, sauces, and more. Magical Butter heats your oil and your herbs at the perfect temperature every time. Check us out at magicalbutter.com because it's magical. Okay, there's a lot of science and chemistry involved, but it sure works like magic.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
Fantastic. And I'm Terry Joyce, of course. You can find me at freedomofjoyce.net. And also my new blog site is sponsored by the Liberty Beacon. So you can find me there as well as on Facebook. That's Terry Joyce, T-E-R-E Joyce. And I have a Freedom of Joyce actually Facebook page, so please take a moment to like me on Facebook as well. And, of course, you can find me here at freedomflips.com on Revolution Radio on Fridays at 2 to 4 p.m. EST. And I also do another show called Hollywood Hempress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network, and that's at midnight to 2 a.m. in the morning. We got one going on here, too, with Hawaiian Vapor later on, and a show that I want to plug, which is starting at 7:30, sign-ups. There's an open mic night going on here tonight. So what I'd like to do right now is, we've got, Stephen Barry is just absolutely incredible, and he's going to do a freestyle song. What are we calling it?
I don't know. We're gonna mix everything that I don't know. We're gonna call it the Plug Jesus and Hitler's Easter song.
And happy 420 Easter, everyone. So
here we go. We'll figure something out.
We're gonna figure something out.
It changes every time. Well, hello on the Hawaiian Vapor Line, Revolution Radio. I hope you're doing just fine with that DinoDad32.com. If you like the videos, tell them it's the bomb. If you're looking for the Samso Report, Google Bill Samso and do a report and get back to him on the Awake Radio 5 to 7 p.m. Best believe it's heaven. He's the man. He's Mr. Sam. He's Mr. Best believe he's like a hot damn 6-shooter in his hand. Never afraid to make a stand. He's Wild Bill, never over the hill. Best believe he's got mad skill, shooting everything at will. Don't forget Terry Joyce, cause the comedy will spill out of lungs. You'll be laughing like you're dumb. Everybody stop being old, time to be young, time to grow up in the new revolution. Everyone come on, tell me if I'm sounding stupid. If I am, I'll slow down, hot damn, a new sound. Man, this is the jam, I can't believe we're all here just clowning around. This is the plug song, and this is the new sound. No matter what you say, it's Hitler's birthday and 420 on Sunday. No matter what you do, it's the same day as Easter too. Yo, we'll get this. This may be a little PG-13, but God's coming down and smoking weed, cause we got the Easter egg basket loaded up for me, and then Hitler's coming in with the racist racket, trying to tell we need to make people splatter on the walls. I can't believe it, give Terry Joyce a call on the radio station. Hopefully you like listening, everybody's contemplating on the Dino Dad 32. Oh yeah, you typing on the computer while I'm singing to you. I'm never gonna stop, but even if God comes down, lights up some good pot, I'm on the beat like, oh yeah, that's the one, the only one I believe in. I am his son, until the world knows it's 420, but it's Easter, no funny. Of course I'm a little funny. Everyone get together, don't be a dummy. And here's the chorus again, if you want to sing. No matter what you say, 420 is Hitler's birthday. No matter what you do, this year that's Easter too. Alright. So I know we got to go, but this is one last flow. Cause if it's Hitler's birthday and Easter too, I'm on a roll. Cause that means if that's the day that God was resurrected, he was like Hitler, you're ejected. Get it? Cause now he's gone. But Jesus Christ is the one that's still living on. And we may believe about the Pentecostal shit with a little bit of Easter Bunny and the whole clique. I'm just saying it's making me sick to my stomach. I hope someday people take a joint and just let it go away like Roland Day used to say. Cancer kills, but cannabis can save the day. They can be the one like your superheroes on the TV, maybe call it Marvel. If you like the Cyclops or that Wolverine, just another day for me to shut up and sing. No matter what you say, 420 is Hitler's birthday. No matter what you do, goodbye from me and Terry Joyce too. Don't forget about Dino Dad 32 and William Samsel too. And don't forget about the Revolution Airwaves Studio A. Yeah, dog, what else can I say? Get on the computer right away. freedomslips.com. Last plug I'll say.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, you know what? This is a fun show today, and I do want to definitely thank Stephen Barry for letting us, film and also broadcast out of Hawaiian Vapor at 1111 Burton Road here in Vancouver, Washington. That's Washington, not BC, Canada, but
Or DC if you're really that on the charts.
Oh, that's right. There is a Washington, D.C. Apparently it's not doing really well, but there is one.
Well from Terry Joyce, everybody.
There's a Washington, D.C.? You know what? I'm not even really a natural blonde. Is that Maryland? So, William, I'm just so thankful that that you were here today. And are there any little extra last thoughts that you want to let our listeners know?
Do I want to let them know?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Come and tune into the show tomorrow night.
Well, I love the fact that you're bringing information with some humor and some sarcasm, and
Right.
I think it's super refreshing in this alt media, and I feel that and I'm happy to be here too. I'm hoping to bring at least a little bit of laughter with information.
Right.
Sometimes I get serious, but
Right.
there's a lot of things to get serious about too, right?
Right, exactly. But we look at things from an alternative perspective.
Right.
That's
Sometimes the right perspective.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully, right.
Not just a different one. The new alternative could be the correct one in the future.
Well, right, because if you sit around and let all this stuff can start to get to you, if you're keeping track of it like we do, every day, this stuff can start to get to you. So you need to come at it from a different angle in order to maintain your sanity. You know what I'm
But
saying?
we can compartmentalize it. Can I say that? Compartmentalize it and, tackle one thing at a time.
Right.
I'm having a
Right.
problem with that word today.
Right. So.
But we have to do something. We have to change our future, like I said in the Freedom Report. Can't just sit on the couch. And, I started that movement, the Occupy My Couch movement. And there was a point to all that. We shouldn't sit on our couch and do nothing when terrible things are happening all around us. But most of us do. We're just couch sitters. So, instead of making waves, let's just all sit on the couch, watch TV and relax and listen to what Kim Kardashian has to say. That's more important.
People are turning away from the mass media. They're turning away from it, and they're looking to the internet, and so they do that. And then we got people like us out there that are trying to get the word out to more and more people.
You know what? There was a few people in the chat room there asking who was singing, and I just want to let you know that that's Stephen Barry from .com Records. Actually, this is my first show that I did. I interviewed Travis McDonald, and with .com Records, and this is his nephew actually.
Yeah.
And Hawaiian Vapors. We're at Hawaiian Vapor. Hawaiian Vapor is a family-owned business as well. So again, he's at hawaiianvapor.org. And we're going to have more Stephen around because I'm going to be broadcasting out of here every once in a while, and so.
Stephen was great. That was a great song, Stephen. Thank you for that. And thank you for all those plugs in there. You get paid for every plug,
Hey, if that's the case, let's do another song. I'll show you how many plugs I can do.
It's just called the DinoDad32.com song.
Hey, if you want, I'll make one. It's easy for me. This is like what I do for fun. I don't know what you're doing later on tonight, but on the Hollywood Hampshire Hour, we can do some more stuff or whatever. But yeah, that stuff's easy for me. I love making up songs off the top of my head. I mean, when I was listening to the Charlie Danger PI show, I was making up like theme songs to go along with the show when it was on mute. That's what I do. It's just how my head works.
And we have to thank William. That was a great show. I really loved the show, the writing, the characters, and especially the music in between. Like the I'm getting in a car riding music. I mean, that was so cool. You could really feel the people going cross country with that music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I love the old radio program so much, because you picture it all. It's all going on inside your head, So
the perfect voice for it. I'm telling you what.
He said he would take his panties off for you, William.
Oh my God.
And he's not gay.
No.
My good.
His voice makes me want to get naked. No.
I mean, it's like the Sam Elliott guy. I mean, when you just hear him talk and you're like, narrate anything, please, whatever you want. Or him, and who's the guy from Lion King? That guy. Oh my gosh, I can listen to that guy talk for hours.
James Earl Jones.
Yes, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
The voice of Darth Vader.
That's the Darth Vader.
Yes, I will listen to you, Darth Vader. You can be my father.
Luke, I am your father.
Luke. Well, I want to really wish everybody out there, even if you're not Christian or whatever faith you are, because it doesn't really matter. Religion for me matters if we're hating each other over it. And of course, I have my own feelings about how all religion is somewhat flawed in its information. And I believe that probably most people out there in Revolution Radio believe that. Although I do, believe that there is a higher power and God and and I don't deny that Jesus didn't walk the earth either. I just feel that part of the story's missing. It's like scene deleted and probably the best scene.
Like the good
real
stuff.
information. What?
The good stuff.
The good stuff.
Yeah.